Hi guys, Davey here from PhoneBuff.com, and in this video I'm doing a review on the Samsung Galaxy Note 10.1 tablet. I'm really excited to do this review because this is arguably one of the best spec tablets, if not the best spec tablet to ever hit Android. But before I actually go into what I like and what I dislike, I want to give you guys a quick hardware tour. So on the front of the device, you obviously have the screen, which is 10.1 inches, and given the fact that the name is Galaxy Note 10.1, that's not really a surprise. The resolution is 800 by 1280. It's a TFT display, and on the top of the screen you have a 1.9 megapixel front-facing camera, similar to what you'd see on the Samsung Galaxy S3. On the left and on the right you have speaker grills, so it's nice to have dual speakers. Got your Samsung logo here at the bottom. On the back of the tablet you have your Samsung logo again, 5 megapixel camera with LED flash. Got your typical little logos for Wi-Fi and 16 gigabytes, considering this is a 16 gigabyte model. On the left, bottom left, you have your S Pen. So you can just pull this guy out and you can see the Samsung logo. Got your physical button right there, which gives you a whole bunch of different input methods. And also your S Pen tip, which is pressure sensitive. So I'll go ahead and snap this guy back into place. You guys can see it's really firmly in there. I mean, it's not gonna fall out or anything, so don't worry about that if you're considering getting this guy. On the top of the device, you have a power button, volume rocker, volume up and down, micro SD card slot, you have an infrared signal, and then you have your 3.5mm headset jack as expected. On the bottom, you have your charging port and microphone, and that's pretty much it. On the left and on the right, there's absolutely nothing, and that's pretty much it for the outside of the device. On the inside, you have a 1.4 gigahertz Exynos 4 quad processor, so basically, it's a quad-core processor with not 1 gigabyte, but 2 gigabytes of RAM, and obviously that explains why I said this is the best spec Android tablet I've ever seen, at least. And you know, with 2 gigabytes RAM with a quad-core, you know it's going to be giving you great performance, but we'll get into that a little bit later. As far as the rest of the internals, you have a 7,000 milliamp battery, and the device itself is not all that heavy. It only weighs about 600 grams. So let's go ahead and go into the review. I'll first talk about the things that I dislike, and then I'll talk about the things that I think are just okay, and then finally I'll finish up with what I like, because I do love ending my reviews with a positive note. So with that said, let's go ahead and get right into it. Alright, so the first thing that I dislike about the Galaxy Note 10.1 is the build quality. Now, it's not necessarily the way it looks. I think it's a pretty sleek looking device. I especially like the back. I mean, it kind of reminds me of a laptop. I mean, it looks like a laptop to me when you have it down like this, but when I talk about build quality, it's kind of like, you know, what most people complain about as far as, you know, Samsung devices in the past. Basically, it's kind of plasticky, and I've never really, you know, said anything bad about it in my reviews for Samsung phones. But on this tablet, it really seems to make a difference, because I'll go ahead and like kind of move it around, and you can actually hear it squeak. So I'll try to be quiet so you guys can hear it. So I don't know if that comes through on camera. Hopefully it does, but take my word on it, it does squeak, and I don't want my $500 tablet to squeak and sound like a little plastic toy. So that's a downside. I mean, really, it's probably not that big of a deal. Maybe the, you know, plastic material makes it, you know, more resistant to getting damaged when you drop it. I don't know, but anyway, that's one of the first things I dislike. Second thing I dislike is the fact that Samsung opted not to use a micro USB charging port. We have this Samsung charging port, so kind of sucks considering, you know, I have an Android phone. I have, you know, a bunch of Android devices or micro USB devices nowadays, considering it's a standard, and the fact that this doesn't use it, you know, it kind of makes it inconvenient. I have to take a whole nother charger with me, you know, whenever I go out to places. So that's something that, you know, I really wish Samsung would have included it, but, you know, I know they went with this for a bunch of reasons, but nonetheless, I would have liked to see that. And the last thing that I dislike is the fact that the Galaxy Note 10.1 doesn't have NFC capability. I mean, my Galaxy S3 has NFC capability, and I'd like to be able to beam things, you know, to and from each of these devices, and the fact that it doesn't have it really is unfortunate. So anyway, those are the three things that I dislike, and honestly, that's not all that bad considering that it's only three. But let's go ahead and talk about, you know, what I think is just okay, and then we'll go into what I like. Alright, so what I think is just okay, it's not necessarily bad, but I wouldn't consider it something that's good, is the screen. Yeah, it's 10.1 inches, it's nice, and as you guys can see, it's pretty bright. However, I feel like the resolution just isn't all that high, especially considering the price point. At $500, I was just expecting a better resolution screen. At 800 by 1280, you know, it's really not that high. I mean, it's the same resolution you see on the Nexus 7, which is a 7-inch tablet. This is a 10.1 inch tablet, so the PPI is going to be even lower. The PPI on this guy is 149. So I mean, I'm getting, you know, double that on my Galaxy Nexus, on my Galaxy S3. as far as the quality, and this is kind of something I wish that they would have done better. Now, I'm not going to complain. I'll go ahead and show you a little video that Samsung included, which does kind of demonstrate the screen quality, so it's not that big of a deal. That's why I didn't put it as something that I dislike. Let me go ahead and find the gallery really quick. There it is. All right, so you guys can check this video out. Kind of impressed me, so maybe it'll impress you. I'll go ahead and fast forward maybe. So it is a little demonstration as far as the screen quality, and you guys can see it looks really, really nice. Just wish it was better. I mean, I don't know, I could have expected a little bit higher resolution, but like I said, it's not going to hinder your experience. 149 ppi isn't all that bad. Screen is really bright, the TFT display, and as you guys can see from this video, it isn't something horrible. So that's why I say something that's okay. The next thing that I'd say is just okay is the front and rear cameras. I mean, it's a tablet. I don't really care all that much about the camera. On the front actually isn't that bad. It's 1.9 megapixels, but on the back is really the one that, isn't good at all. I mean, it's 5 megapixels. I was kind of expecting it to be kind of like the one we saw on the Galaxy Nexus with 5 megapixels, but it's not. This guy doesn't really shoot video all that well. I'm gonna upload a video sample on the channel, so check that out, but it doesn't record in 1080p. It's only 720p, which is definitely something that I dislike. And considering, like I said, this is $500, I just kind of expected a little bit more. Kind of feel like it's made it, it makes the tablet feel a little bit more overpriced when considering those two factors. So anyway, that's what I think is okay. But, like I said, it's not bad, it's not good, it's just okay. Let's go ahead and talk about what is good and why you'd want to get this tablet over the others. Alright, so let's go ahead and talk about what I like about the tablet, because I know that's what you guys have been waiting for, and honestly, there's a lot to like. First thing that I really like and what I feel like makes it stand out from any other tablet on the market is the S Pen. So I'll go ahead and pull it out, and notice that this little dock opens up on the right, and basically these are S Pen specific applications like S Note, S Planner, which is basically a calendar, Crayon Physics, you have Photoshop Touch and Polaris Office. Go ahead and open up S Pen and show you a little bit about this application. I did a full-on review and in-depth walkthrough on the channel, so if you guys want to learn more about it, check that out. But I'll go ahead and show you some of the features on here. So one, with the S Pen, with the pressure sensitivity, I could do, I could draw lightly and make little lines. I could push a little bit harder and make bold lines. I could, switch what kind of utensil I'm using. So right now it's a pen. I could use a brush. So for example, if I want to do a brush, I could do light little strokes. I could do dark strokes like that. Really cool, makes it feel like you're actually holding a actual paintbrush in your hand and you're actually using, a memo pad or a piece of paper. Another cool feature over here on the right is S Pen only mode. So basically, right now I can use my finger. If I tap this, my finger doesn't work. And what's great about that is because if I'm using my hand and putting my, resting my palm down on the screen, it's not going to detect my palm. It's only going to detect the S Pen, which really is what you would expect. When you're using an actual piece of paper, your palm isn't going to, put ink on the paper, but the pen will. So that's a cool feature. Like I said, you have a whole bunch of different, options here as far as utensils. You have different strokes that you can do as well over here on the right, but that's pretty much it. You can also change the colors. What I really want to show you though is the productivity tools, which I find really, really cool. Basically, the first thing you can do is right here, it's called Formula Match. So basically what I could do is, let's say I'm in algebra or pre-algebra, and we'll do x plus 5 equals 20. And I want to solve for x, right? It translates, my handwriting to text right over here. I just hit search, and it's gonna actually search Wolfram Alpha for my solution. So you can see x plus 5 equals 20, get a bar or a little graph. You get an alternate form of writing it, and then you get the answer, x equals 15. Where was this, when we were in school, or when I was in school at least, some of you guys are obviously still in school, and this is a great tool. I mean, not for, cheating or, having this do your homework, but if you really can't figure something out, it's a great way to help you, and helps you figure things out and get the solution if the answer isn't in the answer key. So while we're here, we'll go ahead and talk about the, what is it called? Multiple window mode. Basically, what you have here is two screens. You can see I have my notepad still open, and I could actually still use it, and I have my browser open. And it's not just Wolfram Alpha. I could actually go to, any website I want. So I'll go to PhoneBuff, and you guys can see PhoneBuff is rendering in the background. I'm still using this. There's a little bit of lag because it wants to figure out, which screen I'm actually, or what side of the screen I'm actually using. But you guys can see I could use, PhoneBuff. I could zoom in and out, go to a different article if I want, and continue using, you know, the S Note application here. So for example, if I'm taking notes on something, I could do that. I'm right-handed, so I'm not gonna be able to do on the left. I can just switch this to the right. Really cool functionality, and this is thanks to the processing power and the RAM that you find on the Galaxy Note 10.1. You know, otherwise it would be lagging like crazy. So this really shows you the power. Go ahead and close out of here. You have a few different things you can actually do. So it's actually called multi-screen. I don't know what I called it earlier, but you could open up your internet browser like we just did, your video player, Polaris Office, your gallery, your email. We'll go ahead and do video player really quick while we're here. And for example, let's say I wanted to take notes on this video, which I showed you earlier. I could do that. You know, I don't even have to use this. I could just go back to regular pen mode and take my notes as I wish. And really cool to be able to do that, you know, while there's a video playing. And that just kind of is a sign of, you know, how powerful this tablet is. So anyway, we'll go ahead and close out of here. So I'll just hit X really quick. So whatever side of the window you hit X on, it closes that. While we're here also, I'll show you that you can tap this guy right here, and basically it takes your video player and makes it a little window, and you can continue using, you know, your web browser or whatever you were doing before and still be watching the video. So again, really shows you how powerful, you know, the tablet is. But I believe the Galaxy S3 has this feature as well, so doesn't need all that much power, but really cool feature with TouchWiz. And honestly, that's the second thing I like. So other than the S Pen and the S optimized apps, I really like TouchWiz because I feel like, you know, they add a lot of value to the user experience that you normally wouldn't get. So I'm going to go ahead and close out of this video. We'll go ahead and hit stop. I'm just going to hit home. Speaking of, you know, TouchWiz, one thing you'll notice over here is you have your back, home, multitasking window, and you have your app screen right over here. But let's say, for example, I wanted to hit here. You would think it's your regular apps, but it's not. These are your little pop-up windows that you could actually use. So we used the video player earlier, and you could actually do different things. Like for example, I could open up the calculator here, and you know, if I was, for example, in my S Note application trying to figure out that same algebra, you know, problem that I was on, and I had to use my calculator, I could actually do it while I'm in, you know, this note. So I could write that, or I could go over here, use the S Note, and use this guy. I can move it around and continue using the notepad. I could set it down all the way over here if I wanted to, and if I wanted to go to the main calculator app, I would just tap this little arrow, and it goes right into it. So really cool functionality. It works with, you know, the music player, S Planner, so you have a little calendar, your task manager, world clock, and there's different ways to get it. There's a lot of shortcuts. So for example, if I wanted to get it to S Note, for example, I don't have to go through the dock, which, you know, I don't think it's on here because I took it off, but you could hit edit, and then add it like that. So anyway, I don't have to actually go through there. I can actually press the physical button on the S Pen, double tap the screen, and it's gonna show up. So I don't think it registered it. There you go. So you guys can see, same idea. You have your little pop-up window. You could use the application if you want. For example, if I wanted my task manager, instead of going here, I could just press and hold on home, and it brings my task manager app open. I could close all the apps. So let's go ahead and do that right now. So we'll go ahead and end all, and you guys can see, close it out, see how much RAM I have. So 89 out of 1.78 available. Bunch of RAM available. You're probably never going to use it all up. Right here, you guys notice at the bottom, you have a screenshot button, which basically you press it, you can take screenshots. Of course, if I wanted to use the S Pen, like I said earlier, press and hold on the screen and take screenshots that way too. So there's multiple ways to do things on the Galaxy Note 10.1. Really cool functionality. TouchWiz is, you know, something I like a lot on here because, like I said, it adds value. Things like, you know, you're able to hide applications, or you're able to uninstall applications in bulk. So for example, if I wanted to install some apps, I could just do it like that. I mean, really, really easy to uninstall applications. I could go out of that mode. If I wanted to hide some applications like this, for example, you know what, I don't use the screensaver app and world clock. Hit done, boom, it's gone. I don't have to uninstall it. Maybe it won't let me uninstall it, but at least I could hide it. And if you want to learn more about TouchWiz, check out the in-depth review that I did. I did it on the Galaxy S3, but pretty much getting the same features here on the Galaxy Note 10.1. We'll go on and talk about the next thing I like, and it's the infrared sensor. The infrared sensor is really cool to have on here because there's an application preloaded which is called Peel. They call it Smart Remote, and basically what this does is you go to your TV, as long as it's supported, and you pretty much set it up, and it's really easy. All you do is turn off the TV, you open this app and say turn on my TV, and it'll automatically like scan through all its little codes. It'll turn the TV on and say did it turn on, you hit yes, and basically you control your TV from your tablet with the infrared, just like you would the remote. and also you can control your cable box. So I have UVerse, I set it up with my UVerse, and I'm able to, you know, go through my whole TV guide on here and then change the channel. So really nice application, really cool that they added that feature. It really, you know, opens up the opportunity or capability of the tablet. I'm gonna be doing a video on that, showing you how to set it up and a quick little review, so check that out on the channel as well. Next thing that I'm really happy about with the Galaxy Note 10.1, and I, you know, when I almost thank Samsung for, is thank you for this micro SD card slot, because I feel like the general trend lately has been not to include these. The fact that this guy has it is awesome, because I could, you know, it's a 16 gigabyte model, you could get a higher one, but 16 gigabytes, I could add a 32 gigabyte card in here, which I could probably get a lot cheaper than trying to get the higher model. And I have 48 gigabytes total, which is awesome. If I run out of room, I could swap that 32 gigabytes and, you know, carry a few of them on me. Really awesome feature I have. Next thing that I like is the speaker positioning. I mean, Samsung really seemed to listen to us and put the speakers on the front. I mean, why do you really need speakers on the back or on the bottom? When you're using your tablet, you're looking at it, you know, like this. Your face is facing the tablet, so why not have the speakers pointing at you, so that way the sound, you know, is louder. And not only, you know, is the speaker position great, which makes, you know, the audio experience better, but the speakers are actually good themselves too. You know, a lot of tablets, you know, for example, like the Nexus 7, doesn't have that kind of speaker sound that you'd expect. This guy definitely isn't like that. It has a loudspeaker. You don't need any application to amplify it. It gets the job done, and considering they're on the front, you don't even need that loud of a speaker anyway. So that's the next thing that I like. That's pretty much it. I mean, everything else, I mean, you're familiar with as far as Android tablets. I mean, you're gonna love a tablet for the tablet experience, but those are the things I feel like make the Galaxy Note 10.1 stand out. Overall, I have to give this tablet a thumbs up. I mean, I kind of feel like it's a little bit overpriced. I wish they would have priced a little bit lower, considering there's other options out in the market with, you know, higher resolution screens like the iPad, which offer, you know, different things with the same kind of processing power. But, you know, the S Pen experience really is what's really gonna make you want to get this tablet over another. I said really 3 times because I meant it. I mean, if you like the S Pen and if you're looking for a tablet that you can actually work on and write, and you're looking for a tablet that's gonna help you with school, for example, or a tablet that you're gonna be able to take a lot of notes on, this is it, because it really gives you almost like a lifelike experience as far as, you know, writing on a piece of paper. And like I showed you, it could help you with your math homework, it could help you draw shapes. You could, if you're not comfortable typing, you could write and it'll translate it to text. Whole bunch of features. Having Photoshop in here, I did a full-on review. Being able to edit your pictures on Photoshop Touch, which is preloaded by the way. Normally this thing costs $9.99. You get it for free with the Galaxy Note 10.1. Editing photos isn't all that easy, especially even on the computer, you know. Using the mouse, it's not that easy to follow, you know, for example, if I'm editing this horse, it's not easy to follow his nose or whatever with the mouse, but with your pen, it's really easy to do, and you're able to edit it, you know, just like you want. So if I wanted to make his eye look like that, I could do that, and it's really accurate with the S Pen. So just a, you know, overall thumbs up for it so far. I forgot to mention this last thing, which is what I like, is the power of the Galaxy Note 10.1. So like I said, the processor, the quad core, 1.4 gigahertz Exynos, you have 2 gigabytes of RAM. I mean, you're gonna get better performance on this tablet than most tablets out there. I did speed comparisons with the Nexus 7, it beat that out. I did benchmarks on this guy, and the benchmarks just blow everything out of the water. I did a comparison with the iPad, and the performance is actually pretty much the same on those 2 tablets, but if you look at the benchmarks, and when this guy gets Jelly Bean, it's gonna blow everything out of the water. I mean, it has the hardware to do it, so I'm really excited about that. Like I said though, if you're gonna consider getting it, you know, consider the pros and cons that I mentioned earlier. What's important to you? How important is the S Pen? And also, you know, do you feel like, you know, for $500 it's worth it? Because like I said, some things, you know, don't reek of, you know, or don't really make you feel like it's a $500 tablet, like the squeaky build quality, the, you know, not so high resolution on the screen, things like that. But anyway, that's it for me in this review. Just wanted to give you guys, you know, my experience with the tablet. Want to give you my likes and dislikes. If you found it helpful in any way, please hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. And again, check out all those other videos that I did with the Galaxy Note 10.1, because this will give you a lot better idea as far as whether or not this is the tablet for you. Thank you.